Try to picture a con artist. Most of us imagine a figure like this, someone nervous, shifty, and unable to maintain eye contact. We expect a person who radiates untrustworthiness from the moment they walk into a room. Daniel shared that belief. At 42, he had built a successful home renovation business from a single truck and a phone number. After 15 years of managing crews and vetting suppliers, he took pride in being a sharp judge of character. Then Marcus arrived. He looked Daniel dead in the eye, remembered the names of Daniel's children after hearing them once, and showed a level of professional respect that felt entirely genuine. He was the opposite of the shifty stereotype. Following a series of dinners and a look at official-seeming documents, Daniel wired Marcus $38,000 for a supply investment. 2 weeks later, Marcus's phone number was dead, his office address led to a shipping store, and the money was gone. The most effective manipulators don't rely on shadows or secrets. They hide in the open by manufacturing a feeling of total safety. The financial blow was severe, but the psychological aftermath was worse. Daniel lost his ability to trust his own eyes. He spent months doubting every client and every handshake, haunted by the idea that any smile could be a mask for a predator. He found clarity through Grace, a retired fraud detective who had spent decades interviewing both victims and suspects. She explained that while amateurs try to avoid notice, professional manipulators actively lean into the behaviors that make us feel comfortable. This schematic shows how the brain filters social information. Manipulators hack the biological cues our nervous systems use to identify a friend, like warmth and steady eye contact. These signals bypass our defensive barriers because they look exactly like safety. Understanding these mechanics transforms intuition into a calibrated, active radar. One major indicator is the quality of eye contact. Because skilled manipulators know people look for shifty eyes, they overcorrect. They use a gaze that is unnaturally locked in, lacking the natural rhythm of breaking and returning that defines authentic conversation. This silhouette demonstrates reversed mirroring. While people naturally mirror those they like over time, a manipulator does this deliberately and rapidly. They match your posture, tone, and energy almost instantly to create a false sense of rapport. Watch also for unprompted justification. When someone is telling the truth, they generally state the facts. Manipulators often offer excessive details and evidence for questions you haven't even asked yet, pre-defending themselves against a suspicion they assume you have. These three tactics, performative eye contact, rapid mirroring, and over-explanation, work together to manufacture a sense of immediate intimacy that can shut down critical thinking. Language also changes when a person is hiding their intent. Honest people acknowledge uncertainty because they know real life is unpredictable. Manipulators tend to speak in absolute guarantees, promising a certainty that doesn't exist in legitimate business. Pay attention to how a person handles scrutiny. A genuine person might be slightly defensive, but they will address your specific concern. A manipulator will often execute a redirect. Instead of answering a direct question about liability or risk, they pivot to a charming story, or make you feel guilty for doubting them, or create a false sense of urgency to smooth over the friction. A manipulator's persona is a fragile script. They cannot easily improvise authenticity, so any logical challenge must be immediately deflected or drowned out by emotion. This visualization represents cognitive overload. Managing lies, controlling facial expressions, and maintaining a specific tone simultaneously requires immense processing power. This strain causes delayed emotion. When the brain is overworked, there is a tiny lag between receiving news and the face performing the appropriate reaction, as if the processor has to calculate the correct expression before displaying it. Because the brain is focused on the face and the words, it often neglects the hands. Natural gestures stop. The hands may become unnaturally still, stiff, or hidden from view, as the body tries to contain the stress of the performance. No matter how polished the verbal delivery is, the physical bandwidth required to maintain a lie will eventually cause the performance to stutter. Beyond these physical and verbal patterns lies the most significant warning system, the somatic response, often called a gut feeling. Our nervous systems are designed to register microglitches and unnatural rhythms long before our conscious minds can articulate a problem. The body notices the lack of rhythm in a gaze or the stiffness of a posture in real time. In Daniel's case, the desire for a life-changing opportunity made his conscious mind rationalize away the physical unease he felt. We often talk ourselves out of our instincts because we want the lie to be true. That tightness in the stomach is the most ancient threat detection system we have. It isn't a sign of irrationality. It's a physiological reaction to a mismatched performance. Daniel eventually faced another high-pressure pitch. Across a diner table, a man offered a guaranteed real estate deal. Daniel noticed the locked-in eye contact and the unnaturally still hands. When Daniel questioned the risks, the man immediately pivoted to a story about another investor's success. Daniel recognized the redirect and the physical tension. He thanked the man and left the diner with his savings intact and his confidence in his own judgment restored. Daniel used these observations to protect his family and friends. He helped his best friend spot a crypto scam before any money changed hands, and taught his teenage daughter to identify the artificial mirroring and unprompted personal details used by online predators. Trust isn't found in blind naivety or total cynicism. It comes from paying attention. People constantly broadcast their true intent through the rhythm of their eyes, the language they use, and how they handle scrutiny. We just have to listen to the alarm already ringing inside us.